So, I guess the question is, where have I been? Where's Chimpie? Why no streams? Why no YouTube videos? Why have I been gone practically 5 months? That's a interesting story, and we're gonna go over that. So, what you're most likely watching is gameplay from last season when I was recording things you shouldn't do in arena, or how not to play arena. That's what the title was. So, and that's all I have for gameplay. I have nothing else. So let's start from the beginning. I actually think I win that game, by the way. Anyways, let's get back to it. So, starting in December, I started noticing some light pain and inflammation in my hands after every time I got off Fortnite or Overwatch or Apex. I don't think I was playing Overwatch at the time. I think I was, yeah, I was. But primarily, if I was playing Fortnite, even streaming it, because I was still streaming back in like earliest of December's, I would feel like some inflammation and some slight pain in my hand. So I decided, okay, let's take a small break. Let's make sure I stretch, get everything done. The pain kept kind of being there. January, the beginning of January, I ended up getting COVID. And it sucked. I'm not going to go into detail. Let's just say it really, really sucked. And as of this day, I still suffer from the side effects. Or after effects, whatever way you want to call them. Primarily, I am very fatigued all the time, which makes it very hard to keep my energy up and trying to do anything, whether it's gaming or even trying to be entertaining or even talking to people. I just seem kind of like out of it. Usually it takes about twice as much energy just to do the normal things. So during this time, my hand started feeling a lot worse. Like the pain started it's escalated a lot more. Going to February, enough time had finally passed where I could finally see a doctor. They did some preliminary testing. I explained my pain and how it felt, and then they say, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your pain like? I described, it's about numbing 3 on like the weak side to about maybe a 7 or an 8 on the worst end of it. So, after doing the preliminary testing, they said it looked like potentially the initial stages of carpal tunnel. I was fitted for a wrist brace on my left hand and was pretty much told if I'm ever on a keyboard or on a controller or sleeping, I have to have this wrist brace on to try to minimize the amount of time I spend putting pressure on the nerve that's in my wrist. To this day, I'm still using wrist braces, by the way. So I would usually feel sharp pain is coming from my forearm into my pinky, ring, and sometimes into my middle finger, which led to believe it is carpal tunnel. On my right hand, it was primarily a lot of inflammation on the back of my hand and random pain just shooting through my wrists and some of my fingers, primarily the bottom ones. And then the clicking fingers would also have pain because I'm primarily just doing a lot of clicking. So that was that. Now we were on to March. In March, I received a letter from the doctors about being able to see a specialist. But the earliest they can get me in was April 21st, 2021. All I could do was tolerate the pain and limit my use of a keyboard, a mouse. Controller wasn't so bad, but it still hurt. So I went back to see my doctor to help with the pain. They kind of looked over again, and they were hinting at the fact that it felt like in my left hand, it felt more like this is a hard word to say. I don't know why I can't say it. Peripheral neuropathy. In my right hand, carpal tunnel. It seemed more like carpal tunnel in the right hand, whereas neuropathy in the left, which is kind of scary. It is damage to the nerve system outside of your main nervous system, which is in your spine. They gave me another wrist brace for my right hand, so now I have braces for both hands. While I was there, I was given the first dose of the vaccine. Felt perfectly fine, and soreness settled in a little bit later. And then the next 24 hours after that was a complete repeat of what happened in January, just at an accelerated rate. Fevers, chills, the highest temperature being 104.9. It could have been higher because I was told that I was using the wrong location for taking the temperature, so it could have been over 105 because nothing was cooling me off. So now we jump into February. So not February. Oh man, I'm dumb. Anyways, we move on to April. We're not going backwards, we're going forward in time. Now back into April, I'm just literally physically tired, shaky, and in pain almost on the daily. And 21st, I go see a nerve specialist, and he pricked me with a needle and ran electricity through my arms. It literally felt like I was hitting taste at some points because my muscles just went bloop. If you could have seen what I had, my hand just go bloop. I don't know why. I keep either something and describing it, but you can't really see what I'm doing with my hands. And he said it doesn't seem like neuropathy, which was a great relief to me. I am so glad it wasn't neuropathy. So, about, what is it? A week later, I think. A week, 2 weeks later, I get to see my doctor again, go over the results, and it shows that it's cubital tunnel syndrome in both arms. And what cubital tunnel syndrome is a nerve, the ulnar nerve that runs through your elbow, through the joint, into your hand. So that is a nerve that's damaged right now. So you know when you get you hit your funny bone? That's you hitting the nerve and your arm going like flipping out. And you laugh about it. So that's what I have damaged on both arms. I have to try not to bend my elbows as much, which is really weird, to try to keep my hands as straight as possible. Either way, it is not so far gone that I need surgery or anything of the sorts. I just need to go through some physical therapy, and that should be it. After physical therapy, if everything looks good, I should be back to normal. So with that, hopefully I can come back a lot sooner than later and get back to streaming, playing games with friends, and just being me, but without the constant pain in my arms. Because, man, does it suck. Anyways, I've been rambling along for about 8.5 minutes. So I'm gonna get out of here. The game might keep playing unless I cut out enough or a lot about it. But yeah. So, and for anyone that supports me, my friends, I thank you. It means a lot. Thanks for anyone who's checked up on me or asked about it. Thank you. Chimp out.